Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Gruber Wired. I'm Mark Beach.
I'm John Dotson, and welcome.
Welcome, and we got Ty with us again today.
How's it going, guys?
Welcome back, Ty.
Thank you for having me.
If you guys remember, Ty was with us once before. We did a show. It was great.
Not too long ago. Catch it if you haven't watched it.
That's right. MacDermid Designs.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Full service sheet metal fabrication shop, and we are out here helping Gruber with a couple of their products, and they've been doing well.
Yeah.
I've been getting good reviews, so I hope that's staying the same.
It is. Yeah, no, things have been great. Can't complain. I know I asked you before the show. I have to ask again. How's Shop Dog doing?
She's doing great. Yeah. She continues to bark at everybody who doesn't throw the ball for her, and as soon as you do, she's your best friend.
Right? Oh, cool. No, things have been going good for us. I know we were talking earlier. They've been going really well for you over there.
It's just staying busy, getting busier and busier. You guys are a big part of that, but everybody else is just how soon can we get stuff done? Seems to be the nature of the game this time of year. So
Right. Yeah, everything seems to be that way. I mean,
Yeah.
It's not even exclusive to the metal business.
Mm-hmm.
We are just running into volume right now, and
Yeah,
it's great. It's a great problem to have.
Yep.
But man,
Can be a headache some days.
Problems
yeah,
are still
it's a
problems.
challenge. It's always a challenge, you know. Everybody needs it yesterday, and we're those people who can do it. But wow,
Had trouble back in time, but
Yeah.
we get close, right?
We do our best.
Well, we have Tesla. We need to make a Back to the Future with a Tesla instead of a DeLorean.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun?
That'd be
be a good project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Already got a comment on Facebook there. When will John finally shave his head? Eventually. We're getting there. See?
It's from Pillsbury.
Yeah, Pillsbury. I wonder who that is.
Yikes,
Well
man!
played.
I think it's time to let it go.
Yeah, I'm
played.
getting there, right?
The
So,
white
yeah.
flag of surrender has been waved.
Yeah, right. So, Ty, we were talking to you. You do a lot more custom work, you know.
A lot of custom features. Not necessarily one-off stuff, but definitely that tricky thing that maybe you couldn't have sorted out quite yet. That's where we like to kind of come in and help and find a solution for that kind of stuff. So a lot of that is helped out by our machines. So we have a really, really good setup for automation, as well as integrating integrating features into the parts while they're being cut out or made, so that way you're not doing secondary operations or anything that adds more time, because again, we need everything yesterday. So
Yeah,
Right.
and, you know,
help
and
speed us up.
automation's huge, right?
Yes.
I mean, and it changes almost daily, it seems now, especially with AI and
Yeah.
integration of that. And so I can imagine it's got to be fun, right? The equipment that's available out
It's
there.
a lot of fun, and it's even more fun when you look at what else is out there and kind of like how that can integrate into what you have going on. Because even what I have for automation, it's old tech at this point, and it helps us a ton. And all the new things that they have come out, the new features, the new machinery and capabilities that they have, it's all really exciting, and definitely is helping the American manufacturers speed things up and make more consistent quality products.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody just remember we're live right now. So if you are watching right now and not on a replay, we'll take your comments. We'll take your questions. So please feel free. Thank you for Pillsbury.
Yeah, thanks a lot
To,
once again. These
Yeah,
guys.
that's awesome. Michelin Man.
My shop is located in Phoenix, Arizona. If you're familiar with the area, we're north side of Phoenix, right at Cave Creek and the 101. More generally, where the 51 and the 101 hit. So that's where we're at. We primarily focus in sheet metal work, but we can take a look at relatively anything. If it makes sense, I'll take a stab at it.
Yeah, now we're talking metal. I know you said sheet metal. Is there different grades of metal?
So many, yes. Depending on what kind of base metal you're looking at, so whether it be steel, aluminum, or stainless, those are my three big ones I try to stay in. But yeah, there's different qualities and performances that you get out of them. So aluminum 6061, 5052, you'll have soft and flexible on 5052. You'll have really strong but brittle in 6061. That's used in aerospace, military grade stuff, and the 5052 you'll see more in consumer products. And then depending on what what type of metal you're using, a very, very large price difference. So you can see a 2 to 3x cost just by changing it from this type of material to that type of material.
And what would warrant one type of material versus another?
Yeah, so just whatever the application requires. So if you are in a corrosive environment, 6061 will hold up really well for you without any pre-treatments, that kind of stuff. Military applications, aerospace stuff is all 6061 just for the strength factor of it. And that's generally an instance where they're not as concerned about cost. They're more concerned about longevity of the part.
Right.
So that'll all kind of factor into it. Where the part's going to live. Is it going to be in the East Coast out in a salty area? Is it going to be middle of the country where it never sees salt? All that kind of stuff will play a factor into it too, where you need to consider post treatments, or if it's going to be bare metal, choosing the right metal will help you kind of avoid some of those issues.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
You look like you had a question
No,
earlier.
no. I don't.
Hey,
Not yet.
not yet.
I think we have some video or some
So
pictures that we want to cover.
yeah, if we want to pull up number 1, our automation video, this is the biggest way that we can help save a lot of time. So this is our machine. We have a sheet loader integrated onto it. And what this allows us to do is just to load a full pallet underneath the machine, just like you see there, full of sheet metal. It deposits on there onto the work surface. It'll let go of it with the suction cups, grab it with the clamps, and now it's on the table ready for processing. So we have tools along the rail. It just is showing you a tool change right now. So that just went from grabbing a round hole to I believe a countersink tool is what it's running right now. And it's doing all of that just completely computer controlled. And then it'll even go so far as to punch the sheet or the part out of the sheet and then deposit it down our part chute right there and then right into a bucket. So you can kind of get creative there too, where if you're running really, really large volumes of stuff and you don't want to sit there and babysit it, you can get a conveyor belt to actually convey those out.
Oh, okay.
If you're doing shorter run stuff, you can throw a couple buckets underneath there to catch your parts, and then it'll remove the waste grid too. So absolutely fully automated. We've done lights out production with this before, where you can just load in a fresh skid of material, you press start on the machine, you go home, you have dinner, and it's sitting there working for you. And then when you get in the next day, your pallet's been worked through and you have a stack of completed parts on top, and you
That's great. Yeah.
pull them out and restart it again in the morning.
Wow. So, question though, on a machine like this,
Yeah.
what's it take to program it? Is it very complicated to program this?
No, I've taken people who have had absolutely no experience in CNC control, and taught them how to do it. So I'll look at the outside profile of a part, and then I will select tooling. It has a bit of an automated, I can just press play and it'll guess to see what the best tooling is, and then I can come in and make edits. But I'll put, the round hole in the round slot, and then once you save it, it just saves that cut file forever. And then my sheet program that I have, so like that sheet is saved, so I can come back and run that again at a later date. So I don't need to like remake it. So that helps with repeatability of parts too, where if I'm making, like in your guys' instance, the cable managers, the panels, I have run the same program hundreds of times now at this point, and I just can go in there, pull up that program, say, hey, run this 20 times, and then I'll be done. And
cool.
It's nice too, because it also gives you the opportunity to be working on other things while this is operating. So I'm not having to manually remove the completed part from the sheet all the time necessarily. There are instances where you do have an operator actually go out and retrieve the part when it's being cut from the sheet. But for your parts, for example, they're too big to fit down the part chute, so we tab them in. So they're very, very, very tiny little squares of metal that are still touched to the part, and then we can break those out later and grind them down. And that allows me or whoever else is in the shop at the time to go work on the press brake stage, or to be spot welding, or to be doing any other of the things that we need to be doing while this is taking care of itself and just making things happen.
Nice.
And this machine, is it suited for, like, say, one particular piece of material? Or is this, better for larger runs and extended runs?
It's not suited for any one kind of material. I do have the limitation, or my limitations start to show up at the tonnage it requires to cut through the metal, because this machine only has the capacity of a certain tonnage. So what we're seeing run right now is actually 1/4 inch thick aluminum, so it can get up to pretty heavy material. But aluminum is softer than, let's say, for example, stainless. So stainless, the thickest I like to cut, I can probably with enough time and effort get a little bit thicker, but is 14 gauge. So that's about 80 thousandths thick versus the 0.25 out of for 1/4 inch. So you can see just by changing the material how much of a difference in thickness capacity I have on the punch. Sure. And then I'm sorry, there was a second half to that question.
I forget. We can run it back.
Let's go to the videotape.
But yeah, and then as far as like parts and stuff, like as long as you have a good program and something that works, it'll run absolutely whatever and do it. It'll have some limitations as far as like what I can cut out. Like if you see like fancy gate with the desert scape on the bottom, it doesn't do as well with that kind of stuff. I can get it figured out with enough time and effort, but that's where plasma cutters and a laser come in and shine more, because they're just going to trace a profile and do it. Yeah. Whereas I have to, if you want a round hole, I got to use a round punch. If you want a square, I got to punch a square. So yeah.
And how's the durability of the machine itself? Do you ever have, does it, break down very often?
We're not saying that. No, it does really well. We actually just got a new press brake, and I've had I stay in the same machine family because my programming software, and they have a great reputation. I love working with the people at Trump. But every time I've had somebody come out, when they came and installed our new press brake, the first thing any of the techs say when they come in is, "Oh, you got that one. Oh, that was one of the good ones. That was the last good one before they changed." So it's always like really refreshing to hear, like, okay, cool. Yeah, we have a solid machine, and they always say, yeah, that one won't stop running. Just maintain it and it'll keep going. And, knock on wood, it's been really, really good for us. We bought it brand new, 2006, 2007, somewhere around there. And yeah.
So there's longevity in these machines.
Yeah, definitely. And it's gone down before. It helps to be able to turn a wrench and know what's going on so that you can fix a lot of the stuff on your own. When you start having issues with the computer part of it, that's when I kind of throw my hands up and call the techs. But again, another reason why I like working with Trump so much is they're always very helpful. They'll hop on a FaceTime video with you while you shove your phone up in there, and they can look at what's going on. Okay. And so they help with all that stuff, keep us up and running with minimal downtime.
Nice.
But yeah, so this is one of the things that really helps us with our productivity, is this being automated, and it doing the countersink is another step. So where if you were cutting this on a laser, you would cut out the part, no countersunk hole. You would then take it over to a machine and then either manually pull, the lever up and down to form the countersink. Whereas that's doing it again all automatically while I'm busy doing other stuff. Yeah. So if we want to pull up some of the pictures, we can just kind of slow shuffle 2 through 5.
We got some people up there that Highlander, awesome speaker, the Highlander.
Yes.
So, yeah,
Thank
you. Appreciate you.
I appreciate it. Thank you for stopping back by again. I remember you were here for the last interview too.
Major Tom says, if I'm making something out of stainless steel, how is the best way to smooth down the edges so they're not sharp or a straight cut? We spoke about this earlier.
We were talking about that earlier. So the sharp edge is called a burr. So whenever you cut something, it creates a burr. Whether that's on a plasma, punch, laser, doesn't matter. It's going to have an edge on it. You have a ton of different ways of being able to take care of that. Quickest, easiest, cheapest is with a random orbital sander. So it'll spin around on a circle, but then the disc itself also kind of does this weird little pattern there. If you take a DA and you just kind of hit it at a 45-degree angle along the edge, that's kind of the quickest, easiest way to do it. If you're looking for something that doesn't mar your part, they make edge trim tools, which is essentially a sharp hook that you can hook kind of around the corner and trim it that way. My preferred way is to tumble things. If I can throw stuff in a tumbler, it'll be a wet process with ceramic media, and it just spins it around in a circle over and over and over again, and that gives it kind of a nice even bead blasted look finish. Those are some good options. But
another question from Highlander there: how do you manage your scrap?
yeah, I wad it all up into a giant ball and I throw it in a giant dumpster, and and then I call a company. We have a company that manages all our scrap for us. We use bins. I know in a lot of other shops we'll just take the waste grid of the sheet itself and stack it on a pallet, and then they'll come pick up the whole pallet.
So everything gets recycled.
Yeah, everything is recycled, and we get paid for scrap. So
Sure.
it's
Why
it makes
not?
Hey, you're gonna pay me to take my trash? No problem.
Right.
But yeah, just to take a look at some more of the forming operations here. So these are all things that were done automatically on our punch. So on this one, we could see a bead rolled step down as well as countersunk rivets. So those rivets are sitting flush to the top of the metal, kind of gives a nice finished look to it. Those countersinks were formed all on our punch. The bead roll tool will actually come and trace that profile 3 times. It'll press 10 thousandths deeper down each time it does it to get the full depth of the form. But something like that, to do that traditionally, is you're doing it on a manual, like a wheel style. You're hand scribing out your lines. It's not repeatable at all. And those are things that I can build into production parts for very, very low extra costs as compared to an alternative. And also it just makes it look cool. If you're a car guy, if you're a motorsport guy, you know what bead rolling is and why people kind of dig it.
Very cool.
Skip to the next one. So this is another example here. So that's our logo just hard engraved into aluminum. That's done with like a diamond tip carving tool, so it's spring loaded, and then it has a roller tool on the bottom, and that can curve and trace and do some cool stuff. We have another option too, which is high speed marking. It's more of a dot peen style where it'll come and do an individual dot, but you have a lot of variability control where you can slam the dots together, space them out, control the depth, and kind of create continuous lines that way too. That's all really nice for like part marking production stuff, or just kind of add a little bit of extra flair on a spot.
Yeah, it's sharp.
And what would somebody need to bring to you if they wanted to do a logo or some sort of artwork? What would you need from them?
Ideally, if you have a DXF file of your logo, that is the best way to go. If you don't, just a JPEG or a PNG, and I can kind of work backwards from that to create a DXF, and then I can make a sample and show it to you. Since it is your logo, I want to make sure that you are happy with whatever I had to do to make it work. So we can kind of work backwards from there. But there's also a ton of, like we were talking about with AI tools, there's AI programs where you can upload images and it'll spit you back out a DXF of now something that you could either laser or plasma cut or engrave on a punch, kind of like ours.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the next one, we'll just keep rolling through these here.
Yeah. So this one, I know we talked about this last time, but this is honestly one of my favorite tools. Bead roller is my top one just because I like watching that thing run. But after that, it's logo embossing. So this isn't actually punching through the sheet at all. It's just creating a raised surface in the sheet. Again, fully automatically done on our punch. So this is just coming in, and in a matter of a fraction of a second, it's stamping a logo and on to the next one. Runs that super, super quick, and it's just cool. It shows up really well after powder coat. Adds a unique look to something where if you were doing a silk screen mark over the top or a sticker or something like that, it still looks nice. It's branded, but this is I personally feel like it makes it seem more intentional. Like, we thought about this, and this is our product. And
I agree. Yeah.
This isn't getting used somewhere else because it's ours. That's another example of the carving tool. So in this one, we needed it to stand out a little bit more. So you can kind of tell in there, it looks like it was kind of hit multiple times. So that's a double line carve on there. This was actually on a intake kit, so they were saying dry track use only because it was not sealed for the rain. So if you're using that car in the wet environments that it could be in, then you would need to seal that up a little bit better.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then louvers. Louvers are pretty big, especially in the electrical community. We have a couple different options when it comes to louvers. This one's a fixed size, so it'll just come in and stamp that one louver super quick. This one's kind of gnarly because when it hits, it shakes the sheet a lot.
Is it? Yeah.
It runs fine, but if you had no idea what was happening, you'd probably be a little scared. And then they make a continuous louver too, whereas this one is roughly 3.5 by an inch and a half. They make one where you do like a end piece and an end piece, and you can kind of connect it however long you want, and it'll kind of do more interesting shapes and longer sizes, stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's kind of a quick rundown of some of the forming tools we have. There are so many more. The options that are out there as far as forming tools, you can bend short flanges on the punch. You can thread. I have a threading tool that actually forms a 1/4-20 bolt, essentially a nut, so you can run a bolt through it. There's a ton of options out there.
Highlander, it'd be very helpful if you put your contact information up for those in the Phoenix area and those out of state. We want to see if we can pull that up from the last podcast if we still have it on file there.
Definitely.
If not, maybe we can pull up your website as information on it. We can do that here in a little bit. Also, use of dry electrostatic powder coat.
Yes, we do powder coat things. I don't personally powder coat things. Actually, not too long ago, you guys had a very, very helpful guest that has worked with me for a long time. Chuck over at Perfection. He does our powder coating and our wet paint. They've been absolutely great to work with. I personally don't do any powder in-house. Some manufacturing shops will, especially if they're making their own products and doing like a specific color over and over and over again.
Right.
Most of the time, if it's up to me, I'll try to convince my customers to facilitate the powder coat themselves, and I have no problem shipping it to the powder coater. But that just kind of ends up saving everybody a little bit money. That way, I'm not touching it, and you're dealing with it, and I try to go that route. But I'm more than willing to help kind of facilitate that stuff if need be.
Yeah, Cass is going to pop up your actual website here.
Yeah. So,
talk about it a little bit.
This is our website. It has our in-house product line. So we make some off-road products for various side-by-side models, and always kind of working on new stuff there. It also give you a breakdown of our services and capabilities. And then if you ever have any questions or you want to talk about a project, you can just hit that contact link and it'll take you right down there to the bottom. Fill out that form. I will get that email. I'll get a notification as soon as you hit send on my phone. And if I'm not back to you in the same day, just know that my week is going horribly. No, but I try to get back to everybody as soon as I can. And if it's something I can help you out with, I'm more than willing to. And if it is not something I can do, I'm not a gatekeeper. I will point you to the nearest shop that I know that does good work that would be able to take care of that. So I have a lot of people reaching out to me for machine components all the time. It's a whole different beast getting into doing like the CNC billet stuff. And one day I would sure like to take a stab at it, but for now I'm just passing that information along to the guy who's doing my CNC machine work. And they do good work, so I'll put you in contact with whoever I know that can help you out with whatever you may need.
Cool. I like your website.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it looks very well
sharp.
done.
Yeah, that's we did that all in house. I kind of roughly did the layout, and then I won't even try to take credit for it because my mom came in and polished it up and did all the layout and made it look beautiful.
Good job, Mom.
Yeah, that's all her.
Hey.
So she's managing that.
Very deal.
Cool. You had some more photos here?
Yeah. If you want to do number 7, that'll kind of give us a close-up look of our punch actually in action. So this is going to show you some idea, kind of an idea of, video number 7, the time lapse.
The previous video you had up there.
Yeah,
there
that
we
one
go.
right
That
there.
one. Ooh.
So what we're going to be looking at here is actually our storage box line being made. So this is this has a lot of those forming ops that we talked about before. So countersunk holes, both on the top side and on the bottom side of the sheet. That's pretty tricky, being able to do both sides at the same time. It has an engrave on there, and then it has the bead roll as well. So we're kind of blasting through everything until we get to the bead roll, but you can see the part kind of slowly start to take shape. And then now here it is tracing those profiles 3 times. So it'll hit every single one 3 times, getting deeper and deeper every single time.
So how long does that actually take running one of those through?
That whole sheet, so that is a 10-foot sheet, 4x10. It's making probably about 24 parts on there, and that whole sheet probably takes about 35 minutes to run on the punch.
Wow.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, as that's running, you can be working on something else. So
Yes.
that does free up a lot of time for you.
Yeah, and the bead rolling step of it takes up most of the time. So while it's bead rolling, especially, you have it builds in time for you to go do something else. So what my typical like workflow for my guys would be is like, hey, if you are watching the punch that does need something to be removed, let's set you up on the press brake, which is right next to the punch. So that way you're bending stuff, and then you can stop bending stuff when the punch is ready for you. Go take care of the punch, get that back running again, and then be on the press brake while the punch is running. So you're never really just standing around waiting for the punch to be done. You're always doing something else to kind of help push the job through. So
Right.
Very cool. I'll tell you what, we're almost out of time again. These half hours go by so fast.
Yeah.
You got about 2 minutes. 2 minutes. What do you want to sum up in 2 minutes here?
Yeah. So I try my best to focus on the weird stuff that maybe your average shop can't do, or the problem that you can't solve. So if anybody out there ever has anything that they want to talk about, get sorted out, hey, I have this idea, I'm making this product already, but I think I could improve how this is done, make it cheaper. Let's have a conversation. That's what I like to do, is to kind of find solutions for customers, whether it just be from the basics end of manufacturing or the forming tools or operations or anything like that. That's really where I try to put myself in the middle of stuff, and then just making a quality product. We're made in America, and I stand behind that 100%. You can get stuff from anywhere in the world in today's society. So being able to source something here and have confidence that it is exactly how you want it every single time, no issues, no speed bumps. That's what I try to offer to my customers. So
Yeah,
Great.
absolutely.
Yeah. We have one last comment sitting up there from TikTok. I can't read it all, but
Poppin' Fresh
says,
Sounds like another Joe comment, doesn't
I don't
it?
know, but hey, being a metal worker, did you have a moment of silence when Ozzy passed away?
I personally don't think Ozzy would have wanted a moment of silence. So I think what we're going to do is light a really big fire. We're probably going to cause some explosions. I'm going to keep all of the ants and bats away, so there will be no ant snorting. We will not be biting any heads off of ants. But no, that is a tragedy. Very sad to hear a legend lost.
I know it's been recently a few legends have left us. So
Yeah, Hulk Hogan today, huh?
Hulk Hogan passed away today.
Yeah.
So
Goes in threes.
we got one last video to show before we call it a day here.
Yeah, we'll walk you out, and
Nice
this is
little
our
sign off.
this is our hype video right here.
hype video. I liked this video when we first saw it.
Yeah, it was fun to shoot.
Very good.
Yes.
Well, Ty, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for
It's
having me
always a
back.
pleasure. And so we just want to make sure you like, subscribe, share this podcast. We're here every Thursday at 3 p.m. Arizona time. We appreciate your viewership and your support. For now, I'm Mark Beach.
I'm John Dotson. Again, thank you, Highlander. We appreciate you listening as well.
Yes, sir.
We do. And Ty, once again, thank you
Yes.
very much for
Thank
all
you
that
very
you do.
much. Yeah, thanks for having me back. More than happy to come
Yeah,
back.
have a
anytime.
great week, everybody.